Good afternoon. I'm here with Patty Laveglia for the Seven Lakes December newsletter for the Residents Spotlight. How are you doing today, Patty?
I'm great, Phil. How are you?
Doing well myself. So, Patty, we're just interviewing you about the library because between yourself and Joan Bryant, you're doing a lot of the volunteer work here. This thing is almost entirely run by volunteers. Let's just find out a little bit about you. Where were you born, Patty?
I was born in Tonawanda, New York, which is a suburb of Buffalo, New York.
Okay. Is that where you grew up too?
I did.
Okay. Where'd you go to school after that?
After that, my first year I went to Geneseo State College, and then I came back home to Buffalo area and graduated from the State University College of New York at Buffalo.
Okay. So when you graduated, what would you have a degree in?
My degree is in social work.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And did you do anything career-wise with that, or where'd you go from there?
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find a job when I graduated from college. We'll leave out the date. And so I waitressed for a year after college, and then because I don't really like snow nor cold weather, I picked up everything I owned, put it in my 1979 Camaro, and drove to Dallas, Texas. And from there, I got into the hotel industry so that I could find a job, so I could pay my rent. So I started in 1979 in Dallas and stayed in the hospitality industry for 40 years before I left there and came to Florida.
Okay. So that eventually led you here to Seven Lakes.
It did.
Okay. You have any family? You tell us about any.
Well, I'm married to my husband, Rick,
Mm-hmm.
who is an avid golfer, and it gives him great joy in Seven Lakes to play golf. And we have no children, but we have 11 nieces and nephews, 9 great nieces and nephews, and 5 great nieces and nephews, and another one on the way very soon.
Do you have a spreadsheet?
Yes, I do. I had to actually count with my fingers before I came over here to count everybody.
Right. Okay. So besides the library and books, what kind of hobbies do you have?
Well, I do a lot of the fitness classes here at Seven Lakes.
Mm-hmm.
I do yoga classes, I do the boot camp classes, I'm in the gym every day, and I take Pilates classes outside of Seven Lakes. But, that's something that I like to do and stay busy. When the temperature's right, I like to walk the entire property. That's one of my favorite things, but it's still been a little too hot to do that.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it's cooling off hopefully soon here. What would you consider your greatest accomplishment in your life?
My
or maybe
greatest
two?
accomplishment, I'm a real goal setter, and early on in my career, when I started in the hotel business, I was actually an assistant restaurant manager, and I decided at that point that I wanted to get into catering because I found that really exciting in the hotel industry,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't, the day in, day out like a restaurant is, and so I set a goal for myself to eventually get into catering, and then after that I set a goal for myself to get into hotel sales, and that I accomplished too. So my greatest accomplishment, I think, is that I've reached all my career goals. I have a wonderful relationship with my family and friends, and that's something that I'm very proud of as well.
Okay. So you said after all that went on with your hotel career and everything,
Mhm.
you were coming down here in 2016, you said?
Right.
Okay.
I moved here full time in 2016, and I went into the retail business.
So that's when you became
When
a resident of Seven Lakes?
And that's when I became a full-time resident of
Gotcha.
Seven Lakes. Yes.
Okay. So it's been about 8 years.
8 years,
Wow.
yes.
Any committees, groups, or clubs here?
I was on the Finance Suspension Committee for 3 years, and this year I've joined the Lifestyle Committee, which I enjoy greatly because we're able to volunteer and help Siobhan and the office staff in setting up parties and doing whatever they kind of need as another extra set of hands. And then the library. That's something that is near and dear to my heart, and I became a volunteer in May of this year, and I've just taken it, I took the ball and ran with it when I
Mhm.
came into the library, and I'm here every day.
Right.
And I really, really enjoy meeting residents in here, talking to the residents, and just following in the footsteps of Joan Bryant, who has set up a tremendous library, along with some of the other volunteers. Sue Sampson is a volunteer that spends a lot of time here. George, Arlene, Andrea, Wanda, they're all great volunteers here in the library, and it's run exclusively by volunteers.
Right.
And financially, it's also run by donations from residents. So everything you see in the library is through donations from residents, whether it's the book covers that we put on the books, that's through monetary donations, or the books you see on the shelves. We've got, and originally I thought we had over 10,000 books, but I did a quick count the other day, and I think we're probably close to 15 or 20,000 books in the library.
Wow. Yeah, it's a big library.
It's a beautiful library.
It's a nice,
Yeah.
nice little one just carved out in the side of Seven Lakes here.
It is.
Okay. What's your favorite thing, would you say, about Seven Lakes?
My favorite thing about Seven Lakes is you can do whatever you want here. I equate it to a cruise ship. You can either do everything you want or sit at home and look out the window and have beautiful scenery to look at. You don't need a car. The bus will take you places. There's activities. There's something on the calendar every single day here at Seven Lakes. And I didn't even know all of that existed until I moved here and then retired last year, and I realized even more about Seven Lakes than I did before.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, you've been around here, so you kind of know how everything works, at least to a degree, as far as, committees and stuff. I mean, you've helped out and volunteered here, so we like people who give back to the community. And so for those new Seven Lakes residents that we always have coming in, do you have any advice for those?
I do. Get involved. Come to the pavilion area here. Look at all the things that we have to offer. The card rooms, the billiard room, the wood shop, lapidary. There's so much in here. We have the auditorium. Of course, my favorite is the library. But get involved and then get on committees and you'll meet people. As we get older, it's hard to make friends. And here you have a built-in group of friends. If you were living in a neighborhood, you wouldn't be able to go and knock on somebody's door and say, be my friend. But here, if you're on a committee or you're in a yoga class or a boot camp class, all of a sudden you get to meet new people and you get to develop relationships with people.
All right, very good. That about wraps it up here, Patty. We'll go on a tour with the library in just a moment.
Sure.
We'll get a different view you'll show us. Thanks for being here today.
Oh, thank you for taking your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.